All right, good morning, everyone. Let's talk a bit about resumes. So, you have to submit a draft of your resume, and then you will review another person's resume, and then you will revise based on that review and submit your final resume. So, I just want to give you a few things about what I'm looking for. First of all, make sure you look at the fall 2017 resume sample. I believe that's what it's called. And that one is the one you should be using. And there are a couple differences between that and the ones that are listed in the Convincing Engineering Resumes video. Now you should watch both those videos, Convincing Engineering Resumes and then the Engineering Resume. They were done about 8 years apart, so things have changed. One thing that's changed is that they now suggest that you put a summary and not a purpose statement at the beginning of your resume. So instead of saying to get an internship or to gain an internship or to apply for an internship, it would summarize you and say that you are, don't use you, but a mechanical engineering student looking for an internship in the X sector, or mechanical engineering student with expertise in X, Y, and Z, or with experience in X, Y, and Z. And they do recommend you put 3 things there. And my recommendation is not to put soft skills that can't be verified. I think you should put hard skills, so the engineering things that you're most interested in or that you have the most experience in. So that's the summary and not purpose. A couple other things that I look for. First of all, at the beginning, make sure your name is the largest thing. It shouldn't be crazy big, but it should be the biggest thing on the page. That's the thing I need to see. And when you look at the whole page of the resume, you want to make sure it looks nice. It should be pleasing. It should be full, but not so full that it's intimidating or difficult to read. So you shouldn't be sparse. It should be full, but not 9-point font, etc. It should be readable. And it should be 1 page, no more. So fill up that page, but don't do any more, unless you're an experienced engineer and you have a ton of experience, ton of job experience, then that's different. That's a different kind of resume. So, a couple other things. Bullets. Bullets are good on resumes, but I think they should really only be used to explain job duties. So, what if you don't have a job? Or you don't have any engineering experience? You don't really need to list a lot of job duties if you worked at just some menial job. So you should focus on your course projects. So instead of jobs, it would be course projects. So things you did in 1331 and 1100 even, in your sophomore level classes if you've taken any. Those should be written as jobs. So it should actually list the title of the project that you worked on, and then it should have the class as the employer, and then University of Houston, the place where you worked. So it's like you did a project for a company. So it's that project for that company or class, and the place, which is University of Houston. And then you would list the things you did in that project. And remember to mention results. So what did you find out? So did it work? Did you test it? If you didn't actually do any testing, you don't have to put that. But fully explain like you would a job. If you do have work experience, use bullets for those. And you should probably divide work experience and course projects. So save your bullets for job duties or course project explanations. Don't put them for your education, for the courses that you've taken, or your the clubs that you're a part of or the honors, you don't really need it. You can do other sorts of formatting. Try finding resumes online that you like and mimic those. Now, do keep in mind that engineering, from my experience, what I've learned working with engineers is that it's caught between being progressive and being very conventional. So they prize creativity. You've heard this numerous times in your other classes, right? Engineers have to be creative, but at the same time, not too creative, right? So your resume actually needs to be fairly conventional. Don't do anything crazy on your resume. Don't use crazy colors. You don't have to do that stuff. Elon Musk's resume is pretty cool looking, but you should not do that at this point, okay? Other things about the resume, I think that's it. You are going to be reviewing somebody else's resume. Now, how this works is you will post your resume post your draft to two places, to the assignments tab, to draft of resume, as well as to the discussion board, to the forum called Peer Reviewing Resumes. Now, you will work with your peer review team. If you haven't signed up for your peer review team yet, or you hasn't been assigned it, make sure you do that. In some classes like mine, you can go to the groups on Blackboard and you need to enroll yourself into a peer review team. So work with that team, and it's key to communicate with the people in that team. You've got to know who is going to review each other's. So communicate with the other people in your team, and you will each find your posts on the peer reviewing resumes. You will download their resume and you will make comments on it. You can do this using Microsoft Word's comment feature. Google Docs also has something similar. You can comment on there. So make sure that you download one. You only have to review one. And then read through it. And I suggest you read through once without making any comments. And then go back and see, okay, what can be done to improve this? And if you want a starting point, you can go to course documents, course PowerPoints, and I think the first one is called Peer Reviewing Resumes. And there are some questions listed there that you can use to help you review the resume. It just asks you about each section. So I want you to think not really about grammar and punctuation, although if you notice any problems like that, please do tell them. But that's not the point. You're not there as an editor, you're there as a reviewer. So you want to give them help. If maybe they need to explain what they did in this job better. Maybe they need to explain a course project more. Maybe the education section isn't formatted quite right, or it looks jumbled, or things don't line up. Maybe the dates are done differently in one place than another. So you want to look for consistency. You should be looking for mistakes, but think bigger than that. I think you should also tell them, hey, in the next year, maybe you should join an organization and try to get a leadership position in this organization, so that they will have a better chance of getting an internship or getting that first job. You are the reviewer, and you stand between their resume and me as the grader. So I'm not going to be looking at the drafts. You are. And you need to give all of the feedback to help them improve it before it gets to me. That's your job. Now, when it comes to drafting, if you don't like what your reviewer said, if you don't think it was good advice, you don't have to take it. It's your resume, and you do what you think you should do. But they are reading as a reader. They are a general reader. And if they read it a certain way, if they think it has a problem, then maybe you should take that to heart. at least give it consideration. Okay? Even my comments, if you disagree with my comments, it's your resume. You don't have to take my comments, okay, when I eventually grade your resumes. I think that's everything. Work with your peer review team, get the resumes done. Good luck.